Everyone, good afternoon. Okay, the hour of 4 p.m. having come and gone, the House Financial Institutions and Licensing Committee shall come to order. Before we get started, I have one replacement letter from the Speaker to read into the record. We will be replacing permanent member Representative Andrade with temporary member Representative Crawford. Welcome to the committee. Do we have any Republican sub letters? Spokesperson Ugasti?
No.
Okay, awesome. Clerk, can you please take the roll?
Croak.
Here.
Manley.
Here.
Ugaste.
Here.
Coffee.
Here.
Davids Meyer. Delgado.
She's here.
Here.
Didich. Gon Gershowitz.
Here.
Mayfield.
Here.
Spain.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Crawford.
Great. With 11 members in attendance, a quorum is present. Because of some committee and some kind of other conflicts, we're going to have Representative Didich go first. He is going to present House Bill 4814.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This legislation amends the Debt Management Service Act. It makes some revisions to the fee provisions that have not been changed for some time and have become uneconomical given the changes over the past 16 years or so. We have one witness prepared to testify virtually to provide more background and answer questions.
Okay, before we have your witness present, I'm just going to read the witness slips. We've got run proponent Joseph Devlin with the Financial Counseling Association of America, and then two opponents, James Hooton representing self, and then Malia Carter with the Illinois Realtors. And then is Mr. Devlin available on the Zoom? Okay. All right, well, whenever he's recognized for oral testimony. Yeah, do any of the committee members, okay, great. Spokesperson Ugasti, yeah, we're gonna try to do our best right now. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Just a quick question, if the sponsor knows. If not, we can wait for the witness. Do you know when the last time these fees were changed?
It's been at least 16 years. That's what the statute indicates the last time that there's been any amendment. So it's been at least 16 years that it's been stuck at this $50 limit.
Okay, and the additional fees, what is that meant to cover? I'm wondering.
It's just meant to be responsive to the economic reality that over the past 16 years there's been inflationary pressures, and the businesses or the entities that provide these services, it's just not economical for them to provide this at that level. So this is meant to be responsive to that dynamic.
Okay, we are asking them to double the surety bond they filed, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right, has the witness been able to get into the Zoom? Do any other members have any questions? Okay. Yeah.
Recording
okay,
in progress.
Is there, if there's no further debate, can we please add Leader Davids Meyer to the roll? Yes. So now we have 12. If there is no further debate, Representative Delgado moves House Bill 4814 do pass. Is there leave?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. There being 12 votes in favor, 0 votes opposed, and 0 voting present, House Bill 4814 is declared passed and will be favorably reported to the House floor. Thank you. All right. right, we are going to go to Leader Stewart with House Bill 4767. Wonderful. Whenever you are ready, Leader, you can go ahead.
Thank you, and thank you, Chair and members of the committee. I will start out by saying that the intention is I'm asking for the kindness of the committee to let me pass this out and hold it on second, even have a meeting scheduled tomorrow afternoon at 3 to continue discussions. So we are not at a perfect point at all yet. But the idea here is to try to protect more of our vulnerable seniors and our adult population from financial exploitation and fraud. So just trying, the problem is sometimes if money has been falsely taken, that money's gone. It's just unrecoverable. So trying to do some prevention to like put a hold on a questionable transaction and to just make sure that people are looking a little bit more closely at that financial protection of our seniors. But like I said, I will be bringing this back with an amendment and I will hold it on second.
All right, real quick, before we have anyone testify, we're going to read the witness slips. So there are 10 proponents. We've got Brescia Brewer with the Illinois Department of Aging, Brian Pastor with the Illinois Department of Aging, Alex Pedericos Figaro, SEIU Healthcare, Barbara Pritchard, Self, Suzanne Hack, National Academy of Elder Law Attorneys, Tamika Jennings, Illinois Guardianship and Advocacy Commission, Diane Slezik, Age Options, Lori Hendren, AARP, and Marjorie Moore, Age Smart Community Resources. One opponent, Abby Walsh with the Illinois Credit Union League, and then one no position, Mark Ryder with IDFPR. Real quick, Chair, are you able to speak to what the amendment looks like?
I know that there have been a lot of discussions. I don't have that, like I haven't had time to review it. I literally just got it, but haven't had time to read it. I don't know if the Department on Aging would like to give a conversation. It has not, like I said, we have a meeting tomorrow with credit unions and banks and others to discuss that. So happy to share what we know so far, but it could change tomorrow at 3 o'clock as well, too.
Okay, sorry, and I think I just called you chair when I meant to say leader. Okay, if you have any witnesses, please go ahead.
Sure. Good afternoon, Chair Croak and members of the committee. My name is Brian Pastor. I am the Division Manager of Advocacy Prevention Services with the Illinois Department on Aging. I have the distinct privilege of managing our statewide Adult Protective Services program, which advocates for older adults and adults with disabilities who are experiencing adult maltreatment and self-neglect. Today, I'm testifying in strong favor of House Bill 4767, which will further protect the population that we serve from financial exploitation and scams. In the Adult Protective Services program, financial exploitation accounts for 1/4 of the reports that we receive by the Illinois Department on Aging annually. This trend has remained consistent over the last 5 years and continues to prevail above all other types of abuse reported. Victims of financial exploitation often lose their life savings and assets, which places them in a position that may lead to poverty, adverse health outcomes, and due to lack of health care, risk of institutionalization, and unfortunately in some circumstances, death. To that end, it is the mission and role of the Department on Aging to do all that we can to protect the finances and assets of the population we serve by bringing forth this piece of legislation. This bill would require banking staff and broker-dealers to report suspected financial exploitation to the Adult Protective Services Program and law enforcement in order to initiate an intervention immediately. Additionally, this will allow for financial institutions to issue a hold for any transactions that they deem may be suspicious of financial exploitation or a scam. These transactional holds will allow for the institution to complete a review of the transaction, including but not limited to contacting other individuals associated with the client, reviewing previous transactions for precedent, and gathering required documentation to verify that the transaction is valid. A brief pause to verify the validity of a transaction will ensure that the older adult is not being victimized, and the report to the Adult Protective Services will deploy a trained frontline caseworker to meet with the individual and discuss any potential malfeasance. In drafting this legislation, we conducted research regarding other states who have these sorts of provisions in law. We found that 24 states have transactional hold authority and 27 states have mandated reporting for financial institutions. Additionally, in speaking with other state adult protective services leadership who have these provisions, it was reported that financial institutions were in favor of these provisions as it better protected their customers from exploitation or fraud. I believe that it's everyone's goal, including our partners in the banking industry, to protect older adults from financial exploitation and fraud. This bill is a crucial step toward this. As the manager of the Adult Protective Services Program, I have the responsibility to review egregious cases of exploitation and can personally speak to the impacts that this bill would have had there been a financial hold placed. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. I just have one question again about the amendment. Is the goal of the amendment to remove all opposition? And do we plan on moving this bill as an agreed bill? Or what's with the goal?
I mean, you always have the goal of getting everybody in 100% alignment. I can't promise that that's going to happen. I know that some of the discussion is around the length of time that a hold would be and details like that. And that'll be part of our ongoing discussions.
Okay. Do any members of the committee have spokesperson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chairwoman Stewart, just quickly, are you promising to come back with something no matter what?
I mean, I'm promising that I would not call this on the floor. I would bring something back if we get to a place where I feel that there is a good product to bring back to the committee.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to go through a bunch of questions when they may be irrelevant once you're done with your amendment. But if I don't know that you're coming back for sure, one way or another, we're going to go through this now.
So, like I said, I kind of agree with you. I'm going to be coming back
You're coming
with
back.
some type of amendment,
Okay.
so we could
If
have
you
a
give me
longer
your word
discussion
you're
then.
coming back,
Yes.
we're good.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Do any other members have questions? Okay. Okay, there being no further debate, Rep. Gon Gershwitz moves House Bill 4767 do pass. Is there leave? Okay. There being 8 votes in favor, 4 votes opposed, and 0 voting present, House Bill 4767 is declared passed and will be favorably reported to the House floor. Thank you, Leader. Committee will stand at ease just for one moment. I am going to turn the chair over to Leader Delgado.
Hi, Delgado in the chair. Today we are going to hear a number of bills: House Bill 5072, House Bill 4770, House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 5290, and House Floor Amendment number 1 to House Bill 5384. And my understanding, Chair, is that you're going to be handling these bills, yes?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with House Bill 5072. Representative Croak, you are recognized, or I'm sorry, House Committee Amendment number 1 to 5072. You are recognized.
Thank you, Chair. So I will be presenting House Bill 5072 on behalf of Leader Williams. House Bill 5072 expands the Illinois Sustainable Investing Act by clarifying that Illinois law supersedes other state laws when adjudicating an issue regarding. Oh, I move. Can I move to we adopt the amendment?
Yes, Representative Didich moves to adopt House Committee Amendment number 1. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. And in the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. The chair recognizes Representative Croak to continue.
Awesome. Like I was saying. So we are clarifying that Illinois law supersedes other state laws when adjudicating an issue regarding sustainable investment, prohibiting state action supporting outside jurisdictions, seeking assistance in imposing civil and criminal liability for lawful sustainable investment activity, and creating a right of action for any Illinois resident who has a foreign judgment entered against them for lawful sustainable investment activity permitted within Illinois. I believe we have a witness here to testify. So if you want to, if you have the witness slips, which I will.
While I gather the witness slips, we would be happy to have you go ahead and present.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee, Minority Spokesperson Ugaste. Alan Mayer, I am Chief of Staff to State Treasurer Michael Fricks. This is an initiative of the Treasurer's Office. I'm asking you to support House Bill 5072 as amended. I did not just have lunch at Saputo's, but I think the Treasurer is on his way, by the way. Okay. Here to ask for your support. What this is about is defending lawful investment advice and decision-making in Illinois. We have the underlying Illinois Sustainable Investing Act that requires the state and units of local government to develop, publish, and implement sustainable investment policies that include material, relevant, and decision-useful factors. Essentially, the act requires governments to have a policy that when making investment decisions, it does not require a particular policy or a particular strategy. The Act nudges governments to evaluate data that is material and relevant to the long-term value of their investments. In some cases, an emphasis on some that includes sustainability factors. Unfortunately, not every state trusts investors to make prudent data-based decisions. They have passed laws that prohibit investors from considering specific types of information. As Treasurer Frericks told the U.S. House Financial Services Committee, restricting the ability to access or use data to make investment decisions is fundamentally anti-free market. It is literally an Orwellian system where the government proclaims that ignorance is strength. Unfortunately, some states have now gone further. They are either considering or have passed laws to provide an ability to sue entities and individuals in other states, whether private or public, for merely providing advice or recommendations that they want to prohibit. So as Chair Croak explained, what House Bill 5072 as amended does is say that the state of Illinois will not assist those states in trying to use the court system to silence voices with which they disagree. Illinois law doesn't mandate that investors follow a particular investment strategy. We happen to think the marketplace is how we sort out which strategies are better performing over the long term. Passing House Bill 5072 as amended ensures that other states cannot impose their Orwellian laws on Illinois residents without a fight. And on behalf of Treasurer Frericks, I ask for your support, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. And after much searching, there is one witness slip, and it happens to be Alan Mayer from the Illinois Treasurer's Office for oral testimony and support. Are there any questions from members of the committee? Leader Ugasti.
Thank you. I believe for the witness, but if the sponsor prefers to answer, that it not necessarily directed at anybody.
Yeah.
As far as the investment you're talking goes, you're talking about sustainable things that have to do with the environment and other factors, and not just necessarily how much of a return will be received, right?
So what the bill in front of us is doing is...
I'm not asking that. I'm asking
Okay, you're asking about the underlying act.
Yes.
The underlying act. So the Sustainable Investing Act requires the state and units of local government, when they are investing, to have a policy, an investment policy, and they should address sustainability factors. Those are listed in the act. Some examples are listed. You are not required if you're, the policy that, say, Tazewell County has is not going to necessarily be the same policy that Cook or Lake counties have. You're able to do that. It's just take a look at what you think your policy should be, invest for the long term. That's the underlying act.
So my whole question, though, is it has to do with environmental, social, and governance factors in our act, and the Orwellian ones you're talking about have to do with, no, you're limited to just what your return is going to be, correct? Am I understanding it correctly? I just want to make sure I'm straight on what you're talking about.
Thank you, Leader. The initial bills that were passed had to do with that. There's now a second round of bills that actually is targeting proxy advisors and investment advisors. That so it wouldn't be just units of government, and whether or not you consider sustainability in anything. It's literally if any of the businesses, for instance, are headquartered in Texas, you are not allowed, or someone from Texas or the state of Texas can sue someone in Illinois for giving advice related to an investment that contains one of these things that you're talking about.
But that involves a Texas corporation and requires them to have jurisdiction over the matter, correct? Under our federal constitution and our system of government.
And in the case of the Texas law in particular, they would automatically have it, at least by diversity jurisdiction for our purposes today, because you'd have a Texas domiciled company and an investment advisor or an investor that has situs in Illinois.
So by creating a private right of action against someone who takes action in a state in which they are perfectly entitled under the U.S. Constitution and another state of this country, we are trying to remove the full faith and credit that's afforded to that other state in that by penalizing them here in Illinois, correct?
They are, Texas fired first by trying to remove the full faith and credit of the state of Illinois authorizing these. And as I'm sure you're aware, there is a public policy exception to full faith and credit. We're not going to solve that right here, okay. But as with any of, we are in an unfortunate situation where we have a spiral of laws and then counteracting shield laws in Illinois, in the country right now.
Thank you.
Are there any further questions from members of the committee? All right, seeing none. And there being no further debate, Representative Williams moves that House Bill 5072 do pass as amended. Is there leave? And with partisan leave, there being 8 votes in favor, 4 votes opposed, and none voting present, House Bill 5072 as amended is declared passed and will be favorably reported to the House floor.
Thank you, members of the committee.
All right, we're going to move next to House Committee Amendment Number 1 to House Bill 4770, and the chair recognizes Representative Croak to present.
Thank you, Chair. So House Bill,
Adopt the amendment.
oh, there is an amendment. Can we please move to adopt the amendment?
Representative Williams moves to adopt House Committee Amendment Number 1. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. And in the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. Please proceed.
Wonderful. So House Bill 4770 with the amendment is a initiative of the Illinois Credit Union Act, or Credit Union League. I believe this is their kind of annual cleanup bill. It is sponsored by Leader Hoffman, and then I do believe do we have Ashley? There we go. We've got Ashley Sharp here from the Illinois Credit Union League to answer questions of the committee about some of the specific changes that they are requesting.
All right, we have a few witness slips here. We have Ashley Sharp with the Illinois Credit Union League for oral testimony as a proponent. And then we have 2 no positions, Hannah Kreischer with IDFPR appearance only, and Mark Ryder with IDFPR appearance only. Ashley, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Ashley Sharp, the Illinois Credit Union League. The chair correctly described this as our annual update to the Credit Union Act. This bill was negotiated with IDFPR, and it is primarily a technical cleanup of the language in the act, areas where we see that clarifications could be made to reflect current practice. We are also bringing in some federal parity provisions. So there are ways that our Illinois credit unions have authority based on our wildcard statute that refers then back to federal law. So we're incorporating some of those federal parity provisions within the 4 corners of the Credit Union Act. I would say, again, that most of this is technical cleanup, and I'd be happy to answer any questions on those points. I did want to point out probably one of the more provocative provisions here, if you will call it that, is in relation to the authority to work with third-party providers of digital asset services. And this, again, is based on federal parity. And so there are safeguards in place that follow our federal regulatory framework for digital asset services. But again, happy to answer any questions that the committee might have and appreciate your consideration.
All right, are there any questions from members of the committee? All right, if there being no further debate, Representative Williams moves that House Bill 4770 do pass as amended. Do we have leave?
Leave.
And with leave being granted, there are 12 votes in favor, 0 votes opposed, and 0 voting present. House Bill 4770 as amended is declared passed and will be favorably reported to the House floor. And I will hand the chair back over to Chair Croak.
We were going to do Barbara's.
We're
Is that
gonna go to
okay? And then we're going to put her. Thank you, Leader. You did a wonderful job, so fantastic job. Okay, we are, Croak back in the chair. We are going to move to House Floor Amendment Number 2 to House Bill 4537, presented by Representative Hernandez. Representative, whenever you are ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you remember, members, this bill is treasurer's bill, when it comes to the information on local government credit cards, we didn't adopt amendment last time that makes the bill that we talked about. We already discussed this last week. So we're just asking to procedurally amend this.
Okay, thank you. Just looking at the witness slips for the amendment, we've got one proponent, Catherine Shannon with the Illinois State Treasurer's Office, 0 opponents and 0 no position. Are there any questions from committee members? Okay. So there being no questions or no further debate, Representative Delgado moves to recommend House Floor Amendment Number 2 to House Bill 4537 be adopted. Is there leave? Great. There being 12 votes in favor, 0 votes opposed, and 0 voting present, House Floor Amendment Number 2 to House Bill 4537 will be favorably reported to the House floor. Thank you, Representative. All right, we're going to put Leader Delgado back in the chair.
Delgado in the chair. We're going to move to House Floor Amendment Number 1 to House Bill 5290. The chair recognizes Representative Croak to present House Floor Amendment Number 1.
Okay. One second. What was my bill number? First. We're just going to do this. Thank you, Chair. Amendment 1 to HB 5290 is an initiative from IDFPR. We have representatives from the department here to testify to what the amendment is. If they would like to please come up to the table.
And while they are approaching, I will read the witness slips. We have the following in support of the bill: Hannah Kreischer with IDFPR, oral testimony, and Mark Ryder with IDFPR, record of appearance only. And there is 1 no position, Kurt Fiedler, representing the Illinois Financial Services Association, also available for oral testimony. Witnesses, if you would like to present.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Mark Ryder, IDFPR Legislative Affairs. To keep it very brief, House Floor Amendment Number 1 to HB 5290 is intended to address prior year true-up concerns raised by the Illinois Financial Services Association as it relates to the sales finance industry. This particular amendment language is agreed to with the Financial Services Association. Specifically, the amendment limits the department's ability to perform true-ups for unplanned regulatory expenses related to sales finance agency regulation to within the previous 3 years rather than all prior years.
Are there any questions from members of the committee? Seeing none, there being no further debate, Representative Williams moves to recommend House Floor Amendment Number 1 to House Bill 5290 be adopted. Is there leave? Partisan. And with partisan leave, there are 8 votes in favor, 4 votes opposed, and none voting present. House Floor Amendment Number 1 to House Bill 5290 will be favorably reported to the House floor. And now,
Last one.
House Floor Amendment Number 1 to House Bill 5384. The chair recognizes Representative Croak.
Thank you, Chair. House Bill 5384, and the amendment is a change to the, oh my gosh, I just had it. It's for the fees associated with IDFPR. We have Mark here, obviously, to speak to what the changes in the amendment specifically did. I understand that this is probably a little bit more of we have Kurt here, obviously, too, a little bit more controversial. So I'm sure there are going to be testimony and questions.
All right, we have the following people in support of the legislation: Hannah Kreischer, IDFPR, oral testimony, and Mark Ryder, IDFPR, appearance only, but he's also here for oral testimony. And then one no position, Kurt Fiedler, representing the Illinois Financial Services Association, also available for oral testimony. Mark, if you would like to proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Floor Amendment Number 1 to House Bill 5384 is intended to address industry concerns about collaboration in the rulemaking process from the Illinois Financial Services Association. The amendment language for this particular measure is agreed to with IFSA. Specifically, the amendment creates a provision very similar to what the department did for the collection agency industry. Last year, at those folks' request, it simply requires the department to meet with the sales, finance, and consumer installment lending industries and their representation at least once per calendar year to discuss industry developments, fees, anticipated rulemakings, which may or may not include fees, or any other issues confronting the department and its regulation and discipline of these industries.
And Kurt, you're recognized if you'd like to provide some testimony.
Appreciate it. Kurt Fiedler with the Illinois Financial Services Association. I do want to appreciate the department for working out at least amendment language to address a narrow concern in terms of making sure that the department collaborates with us if they want to move the fee structure of our licenses from legislative oversight to rulemaking. But I still would be remiss if I didn't reiterate my objection from the original bill is when you remove legislative oversight and go into rulemaking, you actually lessen the ability for licensees like us and consumers to actually have recourse if we disagree with our regulator. And again, the way the rulemaking process works, if we have a disagreement in rulemaking and it doesn't either exceed the statutory authority, which wouldn't happen here because we're giving it to them in pretty broad fashion, as well as it doesn't impact the health and welfare of the public as a whole, JCAR cannot prohibit a rulemaking if it doesn't meet those two thresholds. They can object to it, and that's fine, but